Just a little over a year ago, I bought this house here behind me for $2,600. Literally bought it with my credit card, and this is what it looks like today. Today's video, I am finally going to give you a full walkthrough of the house, show you all of the before and afters, and talk a little bit about some of the blood, sweat, and tears that went into this house. All those things are literal, by the way, except maybe the tears part, which was very close as well. When I bought this house, my intention was to do the entire project by myself, which I almost did. I had someone help me hang some of the drywall and finish some of the drywall. And then I had an HVAC guy do my final HVAC hookup. And then a friend helped me with a few other minor things. But most of what you're going to see today, I did entirely by myself, including the roof, the siding, the windows, the gutters, and then everything else in the interior, except, like I said, some of the drywall and stuff. So I'm just going to start here in the front of the house, work my way around the house. And unfortunately, as some of you all already know, I started this YouTube channel and started filming this project after I had already started a good bit of work on the exterior. So what I'm going to show you is the best pictures and videos that I have of the before, and I'll try to explain some of what happened here as well. So the front porch with the brick, the concrete porch and everything, we completely demolished and filled the hole. So underneath that porch, there was a big hole. So we just collapsed it into the hole, filled it up, and framed a new porch, a new roof. So this is where I had a friend help me with some of this, framing a new roof over this, and then kind of reframe that little pent roof over there. And obviously these windows were reframed, everything. So just run you through real quick some of the before pictures here, and you'll get a good idea of what was happening here on this front side. So moving around to the side of the house, what really makes this look different on the gable ends of this house are those hip roof things that I tore off here. And that just completely changes the looks. It really wasn't that hard to do. The whole piece just came right down, just pried it off of there. And it really made my job easier, to be honest, because I didn't have to work that little strip with soffit, work around it with the siding, and it just looks so much better like this. So other than that, on this side, the windows, obviously there's not a single one of the old windows left. This little fence built around the outdoor air conditioning units. And other than that, there's not just a lot to talk about here. You can just see from the pictures that I do have will speak for themselves on this side. Major changes on the back of the house, including this big, nice deck that we built back here, and the roof that we built over the patio doors, which were not even there at all. On the right side of the house here was a little cutout in the house, and that was the only type of deck or porch that was back here. So the door coming to the back was in what is now the kitchen in there. And so we moved that over here where they had some kind of weird window set up, and put the patio door here coming out of what's now the dining room inside. And then of course we built this little roof here. So I did have help again from a friend. These are the main projects that I had my friend help me with, was the framing, the major framing outside, which was building this roof. I did do the deck by myself, but framing the two roofs in the back and in the front were the two main things that I had some help with. But yeah, major changes back here. Really like the way that it turned out. There's barely anything that stayed the same. You can see up top, put that down to one window. There was like 4 windows. That room up there was nothing but windows, really. So really the only window that stays the same is this one right up here. Comes out of a bedroom upstairs. Other than that, there is almost nothing that is even comparable to what it was before. And the last thing to look at outside here before we move inside is the other gable, which is similar to the first gable that we looked at, in that we removed the hip roof things. And then this corner here, obviously, you can see the difference there. And then just moving a bunch of windows around. So the window up here in this corner was where that room full of windows was. So there was like a double window there. Down here in the kitchen, we moved windows, and we extended a window over in one of these rooms where they just had a little square fixed window. Outside of that, new door, of course, new basement windows, and a new powder room window. So mostly changing windows around, but closing that corner there, which we saw from the back side, which is the kitchen inside. Other than that, let's head inside and take a look at what all happened in there. So we'll just start here in the basement inside, since that's the area we probably have the least amount to talk about. We replaced all of the basement windows and then just knocked out any walls that they had built down in here. They had some weird little walls, a room back here, a little half bath over here with a toilet drain. So we had to break open the concrete and close up that toilet drain and then fill the concrete back in. And then after I was kind of done with everything, I just painted the basement. Not a whole lot else except for the floor heat system we have down here. So let me show you that real quick. So this is our water heater for the domestic water, and then it also heats the house. This is a hydronic floor heat system, and I had someone assemble this control board for me and send it out to me, and then all I needed to do was install the PEX running through the floor and make all the connections here. This house is heated with hydronic floor heat. This was a fun project for me. I'd never done anything quite like that, but that's one of the main things that I've got here in the basement. And let me just show you the washer and dryer area. This is the only other significant project in the basement where I installed the washer and dryer. So I put this utility tub in here and ran plumbing over from the utility tub. Obviously, I have water here for my washer, and then the main stack for the plumbing, the 3-inch PVC pipe coming down, is over here in this corner. So we did have to break up some concrete in there as well and connect to the old cast iron under the basement floor. But other than that, the basement, pretty straightforward, not a whole lot. We'll head up to the living room, dining room, and kitchen, and you'll be amazed at the difference up there. In the living room area here, I already discussed from the outside what we did to these windows. So there was 4 double hung windows here, absolutely falling apart. This beam here had to be replaced because it was bent. There was a lot of rotten wood happening in this area. So this whole wall, almost the whole wall was rebuilt, not quite, but obviously changed very drastically. The fireplace here, we put the shiplap up around the top just because they had the plaster that was really bad against the brick. And I just, instead of putting drywall over that plaster, I decided to Tapcon some lath on there and then do the shiplap. And then I just put some new tile down on the hearth here and painted the brick, redid the mantle. Again, everything was really done here. There's just not a whole lot that was left original here. So it's a little hard to know what shots to get here to best show what this looked like before, and so that you can see the contrast. But this big arch right here was probably about half the size before, and it was rounded. And I didn't want to mess with the rounded arch, but I did want it wider. So we put a big LVL beam up in here and opened this all up. So my plan right from the start when we bought this was to just open everything up as much as possible, because I know that's kind of what people want nowadays. That's kind of what I would want if I would be living here. And so this was the one arch that we opened up, and then you can see right here we have another big LVL spanning this section, and this previously was just one really little, probably 32 or 36 inch opening about right in this area. So going from what was kitchen over there into dining area over here. And then obviously through this door to get to the side door, as I had shown you earlier, you needed to turn left, and then there was another small door and you turn to right. So just a lot of little corners and walls that we tore out. And then back in the kitchen area here, I'll try to show you a better shot of what we did back in there. For where I have the camera set up right now, as it was before, you couldn't even see me right now, obviously, because there was this wall right here. So it's really hard, especially when you're using a camera, to get a good idea of exactly what this looked like, because previously I would have had to have the rooms were so small that it was really hard to actually get a good shot of them before. So now everything is just so much more open, and it's really hard to actually visualize kind of how it was. But in this corner right in here is what was their back deck, back porch. So it was really small, about right down the center here. And then the door going out to the back porch was right in this area. And then the area over here, we put a powder room in here, but they had the kitchen from about where this door is over to the wall where the stairway comes up. And then there's just a lot of little weird corners because obviously the kitchen went back in there as well. And then you had the door going over into the dining area right here. But yeah, just hardly even recognizable, really, some of the changes that I made here. But the kitchen cabinets we got discounted. We actually painted brand new kitchen cabinets that we got, Lillian cabinets. Um, these cabinets were kind of gone out of style, the stain color. So we bought them and painted them. We got them way cheaper than what brand new cabinets would have been. Farmhouse sink went with butcher block countertops just because it's kind of affordable, the butcher block. It's the first time installing those. I had a lot of fun with that. But anyways, let me just show you into this little powder room that we did. So this little powder room ended up really small, kind of smaller than what I wanted it to. We have a tiny little vanity here. But I really didn't want to cut out more of the kitchen than what I had to. So that is what it is. At least it's here. I think it's better to have a really small powder room than none at all. The dining room, I already talked about these patio doors from the outside. So this was just a window, a really weird window where I'm really not exactly sure what was going on. They had two little fixed windows up top and double hung windows on the side. And then these two windows right here were just small fixed windows as well. So that's, I mean, this was just a huge change here because, I mean, the whole layout now is so drastically much better than what it was before with these patio doors. So I think we've about covered the first floor here, and I think it's time to head upstairs and check out some of the bedrooms. So stairway gone up to the second floor here. These stairs I was able to salvage. This is one of the things in the house. There's so very little that I kept, but the stairs I sanded down, and the little landing here and the landing halfway up, I sanded down and refinished. Another thing I hadn't necessarily talked about was this little opening that we put right in here. And that is simply just to give it an even more open feel. It doesn't really serve any practical purpose other than to make the house feel even more open. So like when you're over in this living area here, you can see right over into the kitchen. So the whole first floor just has this very open feel after we put that little hole in the wall there. I'll just start in the hallway here on the second floor. And there's really less to talk about here on the second floor because we really kind of kept the layout of everything the same. Basically, just gonna see completely new drywall, new windows, new floor. But other than that, the layout is very similar to what it was before. So this hallway here, you can see we put the same kind of flooring down here as what we have on the first floor. All the bedrooms then have carpet except for one, which I was considering to be a potential office space instead of a bedroom. Could be flexible, whatever people want to actually use it for. So again, bathroom layout is basically the same. The only difference here is we added little inset shelves here on each side of the bathroom vanity. And then we also inset a little cabinet into the wall behind this door that goes into the closet of the room on the other side of this wall. And basically the thinking was that this bathroom is really small. And so we just need some extra space these little inset shelves will help for that, and the cabinet behind the door, because otherwise the vanity ends up needing to be pretty small because the room is so small, and so you don't get a lot of cabinet storage space. So that's why we ended up doing the cabinets. And then other than that, in this bathroom, nice tiled shower. The floor of the bathroom is heated floor as well. So our hydronic heat from the first floor. So if you remember, I told you we ran hydronic floor heat on the entire first floor. Well, we ran that up into only the bathroom on the second floor. And the reason for that is we have mini split units in each of the bedrooms. And for this bathroom, there was no really other way to heat this if we're going to go with mini splits. So I decided to just run the hydronic floor heat into the bathroom, which is really nice anyways, because now you have a nice heated bathroom floor. And who doesn't like a nice heated bathroom floor? So of all the bedrooms, this bedroom might be the one with the most changes because this is the room that had just a bunch of windows. I kind of liked that when we first bought the house. I thought maybe I would turn that into an office space. It was just full of windows, a really nice bright room. But we ended up deciding that it should be a bedroom. It's a pretty small bedroom, but we did get rid of most of those windows and just put it down to 2 regular size windows in this room. Now, this is the biggest bedroom in the whole house, and the changes that we made in here would be that window over there had been just a small fixed window, and obviously window sizes changed everywhere, but that's about the only thing here. And then we have these rooms carpeted as well. I'll show you this really cool, since this was kind of the main bedroom, I put a bifold mirror closet door in here. And honestly, you might think that that's unnecessary and too luxurious, but those mirror closet doors are actually not that much more expensive than any bifold closet door. So for me, in my own house, I love those big mirrors. I would totally do it for the little bit of extra that it is. And then we have what really could be an office or a bedroom, but I did put the vinyl plank in here. And the reason I did that is because I thought when I did this that this would potentially not be a bedroom. The access to the attic is through this room. And so I thought if you're going to have an office space or something other than a bedroom in any of these rooms, it would likely be this one. And so I had enough of vinyl to put the vinyl plank in this room. And so that's why we did that. As far as changes in this room, the window over here was once again a small fixed window. I don't know why there was so many of those little square windows in this house, but we did extend that and make it a full-size window. Other than that, everything's basically the same, except changing window sizes like we did everywhere. From here, I'm going to take you up into the attic. I've basically given you a full rundown of the whole second floor. I'm just going to show you the attic, which is unfinished, but I did do a DIY spray foam up in the attic, which you might be interested in. And there's a mini split unit up there because at one point I thought that I was going to finish out the attic, and I'm now selling the house with the attic being kind of a flex space. If someone wants to finish it out, they can do so. You could use it as it is right now and put a little gym up there or whatever you want to do, because there is heating and cooling up there and it's fully insulated. So I'll take you up there and show you that, and that's the last part of the house that we're going to be touring here. So as you can tell, I've got the whole thing up here spray foam. This was my first ever DIY spray foam. I made a few videos about that. You feel free to check those out. And then we did put a mini split up in here. I really thought at the time that I was working on this that we were probably going to use this up here for like an additional bedroom or something. But as it is, we're selling the house right like it is. The electrical is roughed in. We've got the mini split. Everything is ready to go if somebody wants to finish it out. If they want to use it right like it is, you really could do something up here because there's heating and cooling. There's new windows. Everything's set. And then the only other thing we did up here, I replaced all of the subfloor up here. The knee walls were replaced. In the process, we jacked up the roof. The roof was sagging drastically, which had pushed down on the all of the joists up on the second floor, because all they had were like 2x4 joists. And so these roof rafters had pushed everything down. The ceilings in all the bedrooms were sagging. So all those were torn out and replaced with the proper like 2x8s, I believe we used. And then we built new knee walls, and in the process jacked up the entire roof. Once we had this floor level up in here, put down the 3/4 plywood. So now we have a nice straight roof, a nice level floor up here, and ceilings in the bedrooms that are no longer dipping. That has been your tour of this $2,600 Detroit Land Bank house. I am so happy to have been able to show you guys this. This really has been a long, grueling project. I know that I said I was going to talk about some of the blood, sweat, and tears that literally went into this place, but I'm realizing now that this video is going to get really long if I go into too many more details. I also know that you guys are dying to know how much we're selling this house for and how much we're going to end up getting for the house, regardless of what we have it listed for currently, because we did list this house yesterday. Please do stay tuned if you want the answers to that. I will let you guys know how much we actually end up selling the house for, and I'll go over some of the numbers of what we put into the house in a future video. But for now, thank you guys so much for joining me. It was so much fun for me. This is probably the funnest video that I've ever done so far. I'm just so happy to have gotten to this point. God bless each of you. Thank you for watching.